Hey going, I'm Aaron from Motorhead Mobile Way. We're just going to go through some questions that we've had on YouTube and Facebook about different things to do with caravanning and cars. So, yep, good question. So, the thing with vans, every van is a little bit different. So we might look at this one, for instance, and they could have added a different type of fridge, different battery system. So the best thing to do is go look at the vans that you're interested in, have a look at all the plates on them and get an average kind of weight. And then actually have a chat with your dealership because they've delivered that many vans. They'll know roughly what they're going to come in at. Now, don't use that figure as your hard and fast figure. So it may vary a little bit, 20 kilos here, 30 kilos there, depending on the things that you add. If you add extra solar, that's going to extra weight. If you change from AGM to lithium, that will reduce some weight. So there's a lot of variables, but have a good chat before you actually buy a van and go through that with your dealership and your salesperson, and they should be able to help you out with some more clearer answers. Okay, weight distribution bars. Now, yes, they can be a great tool. They're not always suited for everyone. So things like the DO 35, DO 45 hitches, they're designed to articulate. They don't work very well with weight distribution bars, but it doesn't mean you can't use them. If you're someone, for instance, that everything's looking pretty good, your weight's real good, but you've got a little bit of sag in your suspension and you don't want to pay big money to get your airbags done or anything like that, then yep, use weight distribution bars to help level it out a little bit and give you a bit more of a firmer ride. But they're neither here nor there whether they're good or bad, completely up to you. So if you're more comfortable using them, use them. If you don't want to use them, you don't have to. They do shift weight a little bit. So you might have a van that's very close on its ATM or the GTM, and by putting the weight distribution bars on, that's actually going to lift the tow ball of the van and shoot the weight towards the front of the car and to the rear of the van. So we would recommend getting weighed with them and without, and that's going to give you a good idea where everything's sitting at and whether you might be legal with them on and then you might be legal with them off or vice versa. So definitely chat to your local mobile weighbridge and go from there. Okay, this is like the $1 million question. There is no right or wrong answer. It is very dependent on your situation, how many kids, if you have kids, dogs, how much stuff you take, and what you're looking to do with the vehicle. So a good example is a ute versus a wagon. A ute will generally have a bigger payload and generally a bigger rear axle limit, where a wagon may have a less one. But it doesn't mean they're not as good as towing, it just might mean that that might need a few more upgrades to get the limits back up to where they need to be for your situation. So every car is different. Make a decision based off what you're doing, not what someone else is doing. Okay, so the extended A-frame. So what that does is it helps distribute the load over a wider area. So with a short drawbar, you know, it might only be 4 meters. So from the tow ball to the center of the axle, there's only 4 meters. So the weight will vary. It'll go up more drastically the further closer you go to the tow bar, and generally most of the storage is close to the front of the van. With an extended drawbar, that might give you another 600 mil or a meter, where that weight's not going to affect your tow ball as much. So it just means that the weight's more evenly distributed. It's very much personal choice again, whether you are happy with a short drawbar, long drawbar, it varies depending on your personal situation. Generally, for most vans that we've seen, the weight doesn't tend to go up as quick on the tow ball when you load up the front tunnel, just based off where the tunnel is located compared to the tow hitch. So yeah, the further away from the hitch, more weight's going to go to your axle, less to your tow ball. Okay, so to reduce some of your weight in your van, the one thing we do say is pack for what you're actually doing. So a good example is firewood. You don't need to carry firewood in summer, so you wouldn't take it. So same thing with a generator. You don't have to carry a generator in the front box just because there's a spot for it if you don't need it. So just pack to the conditions that you're going to do. So winter, if you're going off grid, yeah, pack your generator, pack your extra water, pack some diesel, whatever it is. But if you're just doing a caravan trip that's an hour up the road, you don't need half of that stuff. So really work out what you need for what trip, and that's going to help you with your weights overall over a long time. All right, so the upgrades. So it is very dependent on your situation, same again. So let's take that Ranger for an example. If there was only 2 of us, I didn't put a lot of stuff in the tray, I probably don't need an upgrade, depending on where my van's coming in at. But let's just say I put a canopy on, I'm gonna add some drawers, a fridge, then you're probably gonna have to look at doing an upgrade. And then maybe whether you do the GVM or GCM, that's completely up to the size of the van that you're towing and your overall gross combined weight. So what we would recommend you do, once again, get weighed professionally. That's going to give you a good baseline, and then you can make an educated decision on where you go next with your car. I'm Aaron from Motorhead Mobile Way, here at Adelaide RV again. Thanks for watching. If you do have any questions, comments, please put them down below. And feel free to reach out if you do have any queries in regards to weighing. And if you want a new caravan, head to Adelaide RV.